Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/EntitledPeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. Entitled parent demands I speak English, then tells me to go back to my country. For starters, both my parents were born in Yugoslavia, in what now is modern-day Serbia, and migrated to the US. Now, my dad can speak English fine, but my mom has trouble speaking it. So me and my dad use Serbian most of the time. I take the bus to school, and of course, there are a lot of people who also take the bus. I get in, pay, and take my seat. About 2 stops later, the bus stops at a train station, and in comes the entitled parent with the kid in tow. They get on the bus and pay and take the 2 seats that were across from me. It was fine for the first few minutes as nothing was going on. I decided to call my dad to tell him that I was almost at school so that he knew, and like I said, my dad and I use Serbian most of the time, so we conversed in our language. Once the conversation finished, the EM's kid tried to get my attention, and the conversation went something like this. What were you saying? I was just talking to my dad. You talk funny. Oh, that's because we were speaking in our language. Well, your language is not what we all speak around here. We speak English, and you will too. Ma'am, my family isn't from here. We're all from... I do not care where you're from. English is what we speak, so speak it. I understand you speak English, but my family has a hard time speaking it, so I'd rather use our language so they can understand me. Besides, what we were talking about is of no use to you. Why can't you damn Russians get the hint that your language is not what we want to hear you speak? If you cannot speak it, then just go back to Russia. We would do better without you commies all over our land. First of all, ma'am, my family is Serbian. Second, we are not communists. And third, it is not a crime to speak another language. This is America, and we speak English, so do it or go back to your damn country. At this point, I put my earbuds in and just let her go on. The bus was just about at my stop, so I got up, and before I walked out of the bus, I looked at the lady and told her this word I cannot pronounce, which is Serbian for, "You big bitch." The face she gave me was priceless. You know what's ironic about this situation? Is that the entitled mother is claiming that OP is a communist, yet she's the one trying to enforce one single language to be spoken in an entire country. A country that has no official language, might I add. Sounds pretty communist-esque to me. So, I think Karen Lennon should mind her own business and stop being a hypocrite. Gosh, what a this word indeed. I was verbally assaulted at a gas station for being old. I'm a retired mid-60s white female who needed gas last Monday before I ran my errands. I stopped at a station near my house that doesn't have a large lot, so parking and turning are cramped. I pulled up to a pump after circling the station twice, looking for an opening. Once I got out of the car, I heard someone honking behind me, and I see a young man, also white, about 35, in a big white truck, parked vertically behind me near the curb. When I got to the pump, he yelled at me, "Didn't you see I was in line for that pump?" I said no, and continued to try to put my card in the reader because he had startled me. He called me a bitch and told me he was in line. I repeated, I didn't realize he was in line. And that's when the shit hit the fan. His next words were screaming, "You're too fucking old to be out in public. You should be at home waiting to die, you effing a-hole." The next 10 to 15 minutes, he never shut up about how old I was and what a effing a-hole I was. Over and over, again and again. He did pull his truck away from the curb and get behind me in line. At this point, he told me in a slightly lower tone than a scream that I had better hurry the F up. I didn't respond. He repeated it. I said I was retired and I didn't have to hurry up. He said it again. At this point, I was done with him, and I told him, "Oh, I'm so old. My back is bad, and my hip and shoulders. It'll take me 30 to 35 minutes to finish pumping the little bit of gas I need. You had better start looking for another pump, because you will never get this one." Well, he did look for another pump, but he backed into the same pump as me on the other side and continued to scream and curse me out for another 5 minutes. When he screamed ugly something about my mom, I told him his mother had certainly raised a complete effing a-hole. At this point, he told me to suck a dick. I laughed at him and said, "Not bloody likely." A few points I would like to make. I really didn't see him waiting for the pump. I thought he was parked to the side, waiting on someone to come out of the store. If he had not immediately started screaming and cursing at me, I might have moved. While I wasn't scared and was kind of amused at his childish hissy fit, I tried not to respond to his accusations. I don't know why he thought I had no business in public just because I'm older. Maybe he hates his grandmas. I wasn't afraid. There were at least 20 people at the gas station, and we were the center of attention. He was loud. I'm also Irish and Scottish, so it's sort of like picking a fight with a honey badger. You might win, but I'm gonna do some damage. I was playing with him and seeing just how worked up I could get him. He's never gonna retire. His blood pressure and anger issues are going to take him out before he's 50. After I finished pumping, I slowly got into my car, buckled my seatbelt, turned up my radio, and slowly drove off with him screaming obscenities at me the whole time. I never looked back at him. Aww, why did nobody help this poor baka? Sorry, I'm still thinking about Serbia. Honestly though, people like this make me so angry. I'm glad that grandma is a strong and independent woman and stood up for herself. Old lives matter too, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people have forgotten, especially during this pandemic. And if I were a bystander to this situation, I would have definitely, conveniently, dropped a nail directly under that guy's tire. Because I agree with OP. His parents did not raise him right. And I really hope he isn't a parent himself. Oof. But anyways, that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed those 2 entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!